Okay, so Matt Moscona, welcome to the Movie Media Podcast. Thanks for showing up today and being part of this.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. So loosely, we try and this podcast is interviews with people that we meet in the course of doing our work. And over the years, you've been a spokesperson for many a good company here in Baton Rouge. And I remember, what was it? It was the cosmetic or the eye center?
It was Williamson Eye Center.
Yeah, are you still working with them? Or?
Of course, yeah.
That's fantastic.
I think when we met was about 8 years ago when I had done my LASIK.
Yes.
And we did a campaign with the Williamson Eye Center.
Blake and those guys.
And Blake, they're outstanding. And we've continued to endorse them since. They're outstanding.
Yeah, great company. So, so as a spokesperson, I want to get into that later on, but that's our connection. That's why I wanted to have you on. But it has been a couple of years, man, and you have been blowing up here in Baton Rouge. Could you just, for the people that don't maybe know who you are, just explain, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. So, my name is Matt Moscona. For 15 years, I've hosted Afternoon Drive on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. So at my core, I'm a radio guy, but very firmly believe that in this era, if you're not everywhere that your audience might consume you, when they might consume you, in whatever format, on whatever platform they might consume you, then you don't exist. So I would just consider myself a sports media personality now.
Yes.
Because I was walking into a Walgreens the other day and some guy stopped me and was like, "Hey, you're the Saints YouTube guy." Yes, I am. I am the Saints YouTube guy.
Aren't you the LSU YouTube guy?
I am him too.
Yeah.
And when I go speak at LSU classes, they're like, "I love your TikTok," and all of those things are true. So, I just want to be wherever my audience wants me to be, whenever, however, whatever format.
Okay, cool. So I watch your podcast, full disclosure, with the Locked On LSU series. It's fantastic, by the way. You do a great job with that.
Thank you.
How did you get into it? So where were you born? Where were you raised? And how did you get into radio initially?
My origin story. So I was born in New Orleans. Whole family like off the boat. Mom's family and dad's family, New Orleans forever. Every generation since it came to America. In 1989, Dad got a job with Lamar here in Baton Rouge, so we moved to Baton Rouge.
The Billboard Company?
Billboard Company, yep. And been here since. I think I always knew that I wanted to do something in media, something sort of performance-related. I never thought I would do sports as a career, although I love sports. Sports as a career to me felt sort of trivial. I went to journalism school at LSU, thought I would do news. I was there in J school during 9/11, very transformative time in our country. I watched the news, men and women manage that, and thought that's what I want to do. Like I want to be.
So you want to be a journalist?
I wanted to be Peter Jennings, Dan Rather, Tom Brokaw. That's what I wanted to be. And I did news for about the first 5 years of my career. My sort of break in, I always give this woman a tremendous amount of credit. Rebecca Breeding was the general manager at what was then Citadel Broadcasting in Baton Rouge. And I was a student at LSU, just calling around, knew I wanted to get some type of experience. And she took a meeting with me, which, as I know now, there's no reason for the general manager of a radio group with 6 stations to meet with a college student looking for a foot in the door. But she did. And she told me at the end of that meeting something that I still repeat to people all the time today, which is, we're not really hiring, but I've always believed as a manager, you find a way to keep good people. So we're going to find something for you to do. Cool. So she hired me as a part-time promotions intern. Like I cleaned out prize closets. I changed light bulbs in the building. We had a station, B103, which was like continuous off favorites of today and yesterday. The all-new B103.
It's a radio voice.
Yeah, right. But they had a mascot, Buzzy the Bee. So when they did remotes and van hits, I was Buzzy the Bee. Nice. I dressed up in a bee suit. So, and I continued on a path. I got into, there was a news talk station. They hired a man named Ed Buggs to host their afternoon show.
What's bugging you?
Love Ed. Great mentor of mine. So I produced Ed's show for about 5 years.
Wow.
And then, a very long story long is we all got laid off. They flipped the format of the station. I didn't have a job. And so I got offered the opportunity to be a part-time producer on a sports talk station. Took it because I needed something to do. And as fate would have it, that was 2007. And LSU won the football national championship that year. And that was pretty pretty good welcome into sports media. The
This
school you
feels
went to,
great.
the school you went to is the team you cover and love, and they win a national championship. So from that point, I got hooked and just never left.
So I know a lot of young men here in Louisiana, they dream of being a sports anchor of sorts. I think the idea of being paid to cover sports is kind of a dream job. But you put in the time before the opportunity presented itself.
I think there's a couple things that I would always tell people whenever they think, oh, I'm owed a great career, I want to do that. Well, first of all, yes, I sit on my butt and I get paid to talk about sports. I'm not building the railroad. Right. I'm not digging ditches. Don't get me wrong, I work a lot. And it has never been harder to be noticed because there is so much competition.
True.
You know, I kind of look at it two ways. I look at it from one perspective, which is in the digital era, the gatekeepers are gone. When I started, which was May of 2003 in media, which is a blink in the grand scheme of time, but in the digital era, it might as well have been 1823. Yeah. You know, the only way you got an opportunity to speak into a microphone on air is if someone deemed you good enough and that you were worthy.
And gatekeepers, yeah.
The internet has removed all. With this thing, I can have digital audio and video for free to anyone, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
In a millisecond, which is amazing. And if you're good, you can win. But there's never been more competition, so it's never been harder to be noticed.
True.
So that's the thing that I always tell people is like, if you want to do this, you have to be consistent. And you have to realize no one is going to listen to you or care for a long time about what you have to say. But are you willing to grind through the muck? Because as a career, media sucks as a career until it doesn't anymore.
True.
It's maybe the best way that I could say it. You just have to get through the suck because it sucks for everyone for a long time until it doesn't anymore.
Last year, our industry's been completely upended. We're in corporate video production, so we produce the content that is now so prolific. But you know, what with the proliferation of all of that content, it's it's changed. A lot of production companies have consolidated into ad agencies and things, and so we're in the trenches in that same space. Last year, as a result, I started doing some public speaking and stuff, and the term I use is you've got to shout into the void until the void notices you. It's basically how it is. How long did it take you because you were on the radio, was that streamed? What was your leap from broadcast proper into kind of your podcast that you now do?
So it's really interesting because there's a great irony of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, which is really where I got I started at the score 1210. That was in 07. I was there 07, 08. And then in 09, Guarantee Media was launching an ESPN affiliate. They were looking for a host. They noticed me, hired me. I've been there ever since. But one of the irony of that, of our growth is that the station is a low power FM. There's parts of Baton Rouge you can't hear 104.5 FM. Okay. But because it was so hard to get reach with the signal, the terrestrial radio signal, it forced us to find other ways for people to consume us, which meant a live audio stream, which not everybody was doing, believe it or not, in 2010. Right. Developing our own app where people could listen on the app, and then ultimately video. The way we started doing video was, do you remember there was an app called Periscope?
I do remember Periscope, yeah.
So I've always been sort of a first adopter. I'll try anything from the onset.
Good.
So I took Periscope. I literally took my cell phone, opened up Periscope, started a live stream. I leaned it on the glass in the radio studio, and I would just go live on Periscope. And so 5 viewers became 15 viewers, became 50 viewers, became, ultimately to where we said, well, maybe we have something here. And then Periscope went into a Facebook Live strategy where we had a dedicated camera and audio, and then all of a sudden 50 became 200, became 1,000. And so now you're doing real numbers.
What sort of time frame are you working with on that?
The growth?
Yeah. So from the moment you put it there to when it started to be something,
Probably a year. And then in 2017, I would say that was 2015 when I started that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2017 is when we built our full-on big video studio, gigantic capital investment by Guaranteed Realize. No,
I can't believe I haven't come down there. I need to come see that.
Yeah, come see it.
It'd be cool.
It's, I mean, we've won awards, best facilities.
It looks great online. I watched the broadcast. So.
For a company in Baton Rouge, you wouldn't think you'd get the level of production value. I mean, I've gone and spoken at conferences, and I mean, some of the biggest sports media brands you could imagine, Boston, New York, Jacksonville, all over the country. They'll ask for my advice, opinions on how to build and grow and develop, because we were so early. We've done it all and made all the mistakes and figured out a growth strategy. It's
Gordon, your team over there at Guarantee are a unique business. They've done a lot of good things, made a lot of good moves over the last 10 years or so as this transition into digital has come about. And you're positioning quite well doing that now. So I like to think that we're at the end of the day, everyone businesses now they're in an attention economy. I mean, I think we always have been.
Sure.
But back in the day, buying advertising seemed to be the only way to be able to speak directly to people. But now everyone has an opportunity to be their own platform. I just thought, being from radio, it was an interesting journey because you are very prolific on social. Tell me about your Locked On LSU pod. Is that a podcast?
Yeah.
Like series? Is it like, or do you do like all things on the one show?
So it's a daily LSU podcast. So I like to say, take my 3-hour radio show, condense it into about 27 minutes, and that's Locked On LSU.
And you live stream that?
I do not live stream Locked On. No. So
what was the live stream I saw you on a couple of days ago?
You didn't see me on a live stream. Well, if you saw a live stream, you saw me on my own personal channel, which I do every day. That's something I do called Morning Scone, and for literally every day.
Can you just give me the inventory of what on earth is on your schedule every day?
How much time you got?
Just hit me with what does a day look like for Matt Moscona?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wake up at 5:40. I go through my morning wellness routine, which involves cold plunge, supplements, lots of things like that. By 6:45, I go live on my personal YouTube, Facebook account, page, and LinkedIn. That's Morning Scone. Mm-hmm. I do that from 6:45 to 7:15. I've done that every day for 8 years. Today was episode 2,915. Literally never missed a day. Amazing. Weekends, never missed a day.
Well done, dude.
But that's consistency, and that's a thing that most people don't have the commitment to do. From there, I get my son dressed, I take him to school, drop him off at 8. I go to Guarantee. But many people may not know is I'm also the program director of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and also I'm the publisher of LouisianaSports.net, which is our written word vertical that we started as well. So a lot of my day is also organizing and writing stories for the website. I'll typically, around lunchtime, record a bonus Locked On LSU, about 20 minutes, based on whatever's happened in the day. Mm-hmm. I'll do my radio show from 3 to 6, go home, time with the family, start prepping to record Locked On LSU, which normally I'll record when I put my son down to bed. So about 9:30-ish is when I record that. Record it, upload it to all the platforms. Then usually I'll go sauna at night and then shower, bed, usually 11:30 or midnight.
That's the schedule, dude. Well done.
Yeah,
you're right. It's what did I read the other day? It was a blog or a podcast. It said the rewards accrue to the last man standing in many ways. Yeah, it's like, you still there?
I may not be the most talented guy ever. I have God gave me some ability, but no one will ever outwork me.
Awesome.
Ever. There's just no way.
I love it.
You can work as hard as me. You will never outwork me.
Okay, so you mentioned you're married. You got your one kid. How old's the boy now?
Yeah, Drew's 11. He came with a lot of challenges. We lived in the hospital for 9 months when he was born. We had to relocate to Houston. So special needs kiddo. But every day I'll tell you, he is whenever I put my head on my pillow, you say, what was the best part of your day today? I would tell you something he did.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Awesome. I have 5 questions. Can we do a rapid fire? Here we go. So your wife is Erica, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So I noticed on your show that she doesn't know much about sports, which is great. So my first question is does Erica still think Notre Dame's independent status is basically cheating the system?
Yes.
Thank you. Good. Drew, your son. Ever catch Drew yelling "throw it away" at the TV during a Saints game like you do?
No, he doesn't really understand football, but he does love when I watch the Saints because I always say, "Hey, what do we say when the Saints are playing?" And he knows to say, "Who dat?" So
Right.
I've programmed him. Now, Erica, this is supposed to be rapid fire, but Erica has become a Chiefs fan only because of Taylor Swift. So she tries to convert Drew into the Chiefs stuff because of Kelsey and all that, but I won't let it. I'll fight it.
Don't let it. When you get through with one of those rants that you do on your show, do you have a process you work through to calm yourself down? Because you get pretty intense.
I usually walk into the bathroom at Guarantee, get a paper towel, and wipe the sweat off my belly sweat. Because I mean, you're under studio lights. It's really hot, and when you're getting animated, so I have to go wipe off the sweat so it don't glisten.
That's hilarious. So, what of your many qualities do you think makes you such a popular spokesperson?
I think it's my honesty.
Really? Not your dashing good looks?
Definitely not that. I really miss my hair. But I think when you can, if you choose good businesses to endorse, then you're not reading a script and nothing is feigned. It's genuine.
Sure.
When I talk about Blake Williamson, that man did my LASIK. I had an incredible experience. It is easy for me to be honest about my experience with Dr. Blake Williamson. And I could go through any of the dozens of businesses I've been fortunate enough to endorse over the years that trust me with their brand, which is something that I take very seriously. I mean, it's for so many people, your business is like your baby. Like it is a living, breathing thing. And when you trust someone with your brand, with your baby, like that's a responsibility you should take very seriously. And so when you're honest about that, I think that resonates with an audience.
So a couple of days ago, I heard one of your spokesperson ads, and it was for the Goodwood, that men's sexual health place down on Goodwood and stuff. My question is, how much of that arrangement is paid and how much of it is trade?
None of it's trade.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. So, and they're an amazing business. They're wonderful. So I am a big believer in, as we talked about a little bit ago, my wellness routine, morning and night. I'm a big believer that everyone, men, women, like you should go do your blood labs, get your hormones tested. I think that is massive. I know the name Goodwin, people laugh because it's funny and all, which it is.
I was joking.
No, I know. Objectively, it is. But I'm going to take the opportunity to tell people, get your blood labs tested, especially for females. Look at what happened in the last 2 weeks with what was sort of labeled a war on hormone therapy for women over the last 20 years. That has completely done a 180. And then I'm a big believer in peptides as well. BPC 157 has been incredible for my back pain. NAD Plus is for cellular optimization. There's a world out there that is incredible. And so like Goodwood, again, the funny name gets people's attention.
Well, of course, you want it to.
Of course. What they do there to help people optimize your life and live a healthier life is amazing.
So may I ask how old you are?
I'm 43.
43. And when did you start getting into that? Because when we're 20, we think we're invincible.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the 30s, is that the same experience for you? When did you start doing the whole plunging and committing more consciously to a wellness routine?
Yeah, about 2 years ago. I always worked. I played sports growing up, and then when I finished playing sports, I still worked out. I ran a couple of marathons in my 20s, which were awful for my back and my knees, and it was, I still feel the effect of that. But during football season, it's interesting. My weight would always ebb and flow. So during football season, I mean, you know this, but it's like I'm in bars and restaurants and eating and drinking and stress eating and late nights, and so I'd always gain weight during football season, like probably most people when you tailgate and everything.
Sure.
And then spring, I would get right, get in shape, beach, all that stuff, and then rinse, repeat. Fall would come, I'd gain weight, and I would ebb and flow.
Sure.
And then a few years ago, I ebbed but didn't flow. And so then I went into another football season. It was the Jaden Daniels Heisman year, and I just kept getting bigger. And I got to the biggest I ever was in my life. It was about 250 pounds. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't like this. And I also looked at my son, realizing he will need my wife and me for as long as he's alive.
Yeah.
So I need to be there for him as healthy as I can be for as long as I can be. And so it was a real reality check for me. And so I went deep, deep, deep down like a health and wellness rabbit hole. And at 43, I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, you look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so best part of your job. What do you love most about what you do?
I hope this doesn't sound vain. I think it's just that I'm good at it. I think
Exercise of competence.
Everybody should do something that they enjoy doing, and it's rewarding because you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
You know, like I read a study one time that like the happiest people at their jobs are like plumbers, because every day they fix a problem. Like if you're good at what you do, you go into someone's home and you fix it every day, and every day you leave having accomplished something. I think there's like definitely like I probably could have served the world better doing something else than talking about sports. Maybe not. I get a lot of great feedback from people, and it's humbling that they say, you're my extension of home, my family and I, you're a connecting point for my family, and my dad and I talk about your show. And so that's rewarding. Yeah. But I really think it's just that every day when I walk in the door, I never walk in the door going, another day of work. Yeah. Like when I go on vacation and I come back, I'm like, turn on the mic. I'm ready, you know? So, and I know this, that the day that I leave and I'm not fired up to go back, that's when it's time to quit. Because we talked about Ed Buggs a bit ago. Mm-hmm. One of the great lessons he taught me is passion drives talk radio. Or in this case, any type of talk. Yeah. But if you're not passionate about it, how can you expect your audience to care? So if I walk in the door one day and I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do this, that's when I know it's time to go. It's time to let someone else take that chair.
Yep, I share that sentiment. Last week we posted a little short on LinkedIn about just that. It's like, you know, when you make a video, it occurred to me, I'm like, when I edit these videos, I'm like a little bit falling in love with people if I need to, or if the thing is sad, I get sad, and I'm like, you put a little bit of yourself into your craft, and if you don't, how can you expect people to connect to what you don't put in it, you know?
It's true.
Worst thing about what you do?
This is actually a good dovetail into something that we had started to talk about a bit ago when you talked about giving advice to people. The worst part of the job is you do forfeit your fandom.
Forfeit your fandom?
Like,
what does that mean?
I love LSU. Yeah. I love the New Orleans Saints. Mm-hmm. I have my whole life. But my job requires me to give objective opinions, which fans don't have the luxury, or I don't have the luxury of being a fan. So every day of my life, I know, without exception, I am going to piss somebody off. Yeah. The worst part about being in the opinion media is giving opinions, because it is impossible to have unanimous agreement on anything.
Sure.
And there are going to be times where I think LSU is going to lose a game, and I have to say, I think they're going to lose this game, and people will not be happy about that. Mm-hmm. Or if I criticize a coach, or for the New Orleans Saints, I've been very critical of their general manager, Mickey Loomis. I'm sure he's not thrilled about that. There's a lot of Saints fans who agree with me, some that don't. But the point is, my job is to give honest opinions. Sure. It's not to make people like me. It's not to make people agree with me. It's just to give an opinion that is honest, well thought out, well researched, maybe entertaining, that gives people something to talk about.
Yeah.
But because of that, go look at my Twitter mentions. It's not a friendly place. I mean, there's a lot of people who say very vile things about me. Now, it doesn't bother me. Like, I put my head on my pillow at night and I'm just fine. Like, I think you have to not internalize any of that criticism. Just like you shouldn't be overjoyed with any of the praise. It's all hand in hand with the job. But the worst part of the job is giving opinions. It's the job.
Do you read the comments? Because I mean, there's a lot when you start getting noticed.
So I love to engage with my audience. Uh-huh. I think that is a huge part of growing your audience, is not being an unreachable, untouchable person. But I also have I'm very good just in life at putting up a wall. And if you're on the other side of the wall, you just don't exist in my reality.
Right.
Like, I don't fret over it. I like to engage with my audience. So I like to be able to go respond to people and because anybody would think that's great, right? I mean, if like there's people that I'm a fan of, if I go and message them or DM them and they reply to me, I'd be thrilled. So, I mean, I try to do that as much as I can. The scalability is just not realistic anymore because of the number of platforms that I'm on. And
do you have a personal assistant that does some of this for you?
No, it's my fat fingers typing away on my phone.
Nobody, are you a 2-finger typer?
No, well, I'm 2 thumbs on my phone. Yeah. But no, like that's me. But I don't like nobody ever posts for me ever. It's me always, and it's just I don't have the time of the day productively to reply to everything.
Sure, that makes sense.
So, and I make myself available. I have a text line where people can literally text me, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, email. I mean, I'm everywhere. And so YouTube, podcasts. So, I mean, I do my best to get back to people, but it's just not feasible to reply to everything.
What is the future looking like? Are you riding the crest of a wave, or are you hand on the rudder, charting towards a direction? Where are you headed?
What does that mean?
You know, are you like just surfing, or are you guiding the ship? Where are you headed? What's the future look like for you?
Well, I'm a very ambitious person. Mm-hmm. I'm never content. So I don't think of myself as someone that's just going to hang out and do afternoon drive until I feel like I retire and move away to whatever would be next. I'm always looking at what is the next biggest, best, greatest way to scale. Like in addition to all my media, I'm a partner in a roofing company, Parish Construction and Roofing. I'm always looking for other business endeavors to engage in. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, all of that business fascinates me. So I love to be involved in those types of things as well. And what opportunities may come. You know, I've had opportunities to leave Baton Rouge, but I kind of like what we were just talking about with passion. If I left Baton Rouge and went, let's say I've had opportunities like Houston, Atlanta, some other places. Like, could I wake up every morning and go talk about the Atlanta Hawks and be jacked about it? Not really. Sense, right? So I love being in my hometown. I love talking about teams I'm passionate about. I work at a great company. I mean, Guarantee Media, literally the day we're recording this is the company's 100th birthday.
Amazing.
100, it's the infinitesimal amount of companies that last 100 years is incredible, and especially maintaining local ownership because that's important to the Foster family. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the grass is greener, but they also give me opportunities to scale myself in other ways, like with Parish Construction and Roofing, with Locked on LSU, which Guarantee doesn't own that. They don't touch that. Doing Morning Scone. Like a lot of the things that I do, they allow me that opportunity and that freedom to go do that stuff. So I got a great thing. So I'm always looking at what's the next opportunity to grow and scale and develop and learn and challenge myself in new ways.
Awesome, dude. Well, let's end it there. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to ask you a single sports question. My son will give me shit about that later on, but he knows football. He should be here doing the interview if he wants to talk about sports.
Everybody can hear all my sports takes.
That's what I'm.
You know what I mean? This stuff's way more interesting.
It's been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah.